Creaking.com.
I wanted to share with you a post that I placed on the Free State Project forum in October of 2002. This may be a little embarrassing for me, but at least it will serve as evidence that it is possible to make anti-independence people change their mind. This post shows you how against secession I was in 2002. And of course, now I'm the guy that runs nhexit.com. Here we go. October 12th, 2002. Quote, "Sometimes I get the impression that, for all our caution about the mainstream media, we have not fully come to grips with one of the key ways they can damage us. Or maybe I should call it one of the key ways they can help us damage ourselves. I'm one of the proponents of our working closely with reporters, but I feel I should raise a red flag about something they are likely to do if we don't take steps on our end to prevent it. Reporters like to zero in on the most controversial aspects of whatever they cover. When they start covering porcupines heavily, many will likely focus on the most controversial thing about us. As it stands, that will probably be the fact that we, and prominent folks who've supported us, have brought up the topic of secessionism. They'll want to know if we're a secessionist organization. If our site and our spokespersons cannot give them a clear and convincing no in reply, news stories will imply that we are just that. The implication will catch on and become a label, the label a millstone around our necks. If this happens, it will be our fault because we are putting out a mixed message on the subject. Sometimes I feel like we are talking about divorce before we've even decided who we're going to marry. For instance, the way I first heard about the FSP was the Walter Williams interview on FNC. Fox News Channel. It left me the impression that the FSP was a secessionist organization. My next encounter with the FSP was a link on a free-market.net under the topic of secession. I had an open enough mind to go to the site and drill until I found some kind of vague indication we aren't focused on that. But most folks will only remember what they hear on the news, and secessionism is the headline we seem to make whenever we so much as walk in the room. I think there needs to be a more clearly stated indication on our index page that we are, as I believe Jason once said, not a secessionist organization. Many of us already agree that there is plenty of autonomy for a state under the Constitution inside the Union. So why not say that right at the top? Our first paragraph on the index page says we are planning on someday negotiating directly with the federal government for appropriate political autonomy. How about we just add within the Union to the end of that sentence? And is there any way to get the word out to all these well-intentioned supporters who are jawboning about us that they're not doing us any favor by associating us with secessionism? We should stand by our core principles regardless of public opinion, but secessionism is not one of these principles. In a sense, it's just another debate topic like highway privatization or abortion, except it has the potential to do us in. Being perceived as secessionists is one of the worst things that could happen to us on the national level. It is perhaps the only thing that could make most Americans outside the FS, Free State, feel threatened by us. In their minds, secession is understandably associated with the Civil War, white separatism, and Eastern European holocausts. It's a millstone. Let's ditch it before public perception nails it to our necks forever. Unquote. So, wow, I can't believe I wrote that. Well, one thing that I've learned since then, and in a lot of different areas, not just on secession, but one thing I learned is really important is it doesn't really matter that much whether the media says nice or mean things about you as an organization. All that matters is that they aim the camera at you, and they really, since that note was written, I assumed we would get a lot more attention from the media than we actually did over the following 15 years. We did get some, a fair amount, but less than I expected. It always, what was the problem has always been for us with media is not that they're saying terrible things about us, but rather that they're just not aiming the cameras at us at all. or I should say, not enough. So if we did have some outrageous belief, even that, or if we were accused of some outrageous belief, it wouldn't even really matter that much. We'd be just so lucky as to have the national media denouncing us. But of course, over time, also I've become more and more fond of the idea of independence, and I guess that must have been I must have written that about a month after I discovered the Free State Project, and about a month before I officially joined. So I was not a full-blown libertarian in those days. It didn't really take very long for the Free Staters to change me for the better, and New Hampshire to change me for the better.
This program is brought to you by freekeen.com. Freekeen.com features audio, video, and blogs chronicling the transition to a voluntary society. Freekeen.com also has comments and discussion forums so you can be heard. Freekeen.com.